Now, all we're doing now in the first minute is we're setting up a balance here, and don't take any of this as a reflection on you as a person at all. It is nothing to do with you as a person. It is to do with other factors. I'm sorry I'm reading you. I should have asked your permission. You've kind of put yourself in the right position anyway. Let me just work this out. I'm not reading your mind, I'm reading your energy. It's a different from the function. Okay, we've got our invisible friend here. Going to call him Henry. Was it Henry in the old film where, was it one of the famous actors had this 12-foot-high rabbit? Harvey, thank you, Harvey. Yeah, that's Harvey. We called him Harvey. So I'm not completely mad, just barking mad. Right. I'm going to ask you to change with Dot. I'm going to get Dot to come over and just you guys two swap there. Okay. Would you be so kind? And Dot, could you bring that chair a little bit further forward? Just bring it a little bit further forward. Okay. Sorry about this. Just a little get that. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good. And I'm going to make one other change, if I may. Could I ask the good lady there to change with my gentleman friend here? Could you two guys change? It's all right. It's okay. Don't worry about that. This is all part of the process, as they say. Right. Don't worry. We're not holding a séance. We might get a table and get some tappings, but we don't. We're not using tarot cards either. Totally unnecessary. Did you know that when people dowse, just as a sideline, it's you know that when a person dowses, they have a couple of rods like this, and you can do that without that. What you do is you just hold your hands in a slight tension like that, and you'll feel it in your hands because the tension is only what's going to convey to the rods anyway. So. But that's just an aside. Right, now, to explain the camera, okay, piece to camera. This is Unit 3 of this little series, and what we're trying to do here is give these good people who've come to this session an ability to access information directly if they wish. And they have total control over this. There's no induction of information or anything else. This is just the fact that they have the ability, if they wish, to pick up the phone and call their particular resonance if they want to do that. I'm just going to go around, with your permission. I first of all have to ask your permission. Do I have permission from all of you to basically try to improve your equanimity and harmony and psychic abilities? Yes. Does anyone have a problem with that? Having said that, I want to tell you, first of all, one thing that you need to know is that your space is your space, and you must own your space. In life, in your area, in your immediate confines of what you would happily call your aura, you have to understand and own that space. So you can imagine around you an envelope, an egg-shaped envelope, which is a membrane, a barrier, and you control that gate. So if you do not want to accept anything coming into that gate, whether it be a vibration or another entity or another telepathic message or another, you have the total capacity to close that gate, to use it as a mirror, to reflect back only at one time, no, don't amplify it, whatever is coming into you. So I'm telling you that you can own that space. Right.
Yeah, can you switch mode?
No problem.
Yeah,
yes. Having said that, I would like a little modification. Would the people crossing their arms uncross their arms? And would all of you put your hands on your knees? All right? And uncross your legs. The reason why is you might know the body language of if you see someone, and you can read people, cross, and this is no reflection, if you see them cross their arms, they're either cold or they're putting up a block to their heart center. So if you want to engage in any kind of open communication or work, you have to be available to work freely, and knowing that I trust all of you, and I trust that you trust each other. All right? I know that you are all good people. I have to say, if you ever find yourself in a context where you're not with good people, then don't get involved, okay? Don't get involved in silly things like tarot cards and Ouija boards and what have you, and all that rubbish, and it all works. But, you know, if you're going to try and work in the Etherean area, go up, don't go out or down, all right? You're not looking for tricks and things. You're looking for... If you want your personal representation of the cosmic intelligence, or what people will call God or Allah or whatever religious or spiritual context or cultural history you associate with, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to the same source. And it doesn't matter about whether people give it different names. If they could get beyond the names and just realize it's the source and it's coming down to you. Now, having said that, I'm just going to go in very quickly. Sorry about you. Did you break it, or is it just strained?
Fractured the elbow.
Fractured the elbow. Okay, fine. We'll work on that. So I'm just going to go around quickly. I'm going to do that one more time. And all I'm doing is using my energy field to read your energy field. I'm not actually transmitting anything to you. Very interesting. Okay, now, many religions and traditions have tried to bring out and educate their followers in the arts of the etheria, the ether. You, apart from your biological bodies, are intelligent, etheric beings. You have more than just the body that you see in front of you. And this radiance goes out from you in a number of waves. Rather like you come out from the sun and you go into a number of nodal points, gravity valleys, in which the planets sit and travel around that gravity valley, you have various shells that have different frequency. According to how open you are or closed down, which is your choice, you have control over that. Your area that you have is in your space can be small or large or even under the level of the skin. And in theory, it can travel out infinitely for any distance. It has different color, but not color as you understand it. And it has different intensity, and it has different focal points. Some cultures have put this into concepts of the Kabbalah, of chakras, of all these words, which basically refer to the same thing. Now, if you are going to be comfortable in your lives and comfortable with other people's lives, you have to be comfortable in yourself. If there is something which is uncomfortable to you in your being, try to move away from it. Do not necessarily try to cure it. If you have somebody around you that is annoying you, try not to modify them, because that is their decision. Try to just slightly separate yourself from that and let them work with their own stuff. This is my personal philosophy from where I associate with. Try to live and let live. Don't try to dominate. I know I'm not talking to you guys, but I'm talking to the camera. Don't try to dominate. It will come back at you. In the meditative state, as taught in the Himalaya, in the Sanskrit, in the monks of those traditions, the most important thing they see is the calming of the mind, called meditation. Doesn't have to be meditation per se. It's just the calming of the mind. Slowing down your thoughts, slowing down your reactions, slowing down your heart rate, slowing down your breathing, and just let everything calm down. Everything is okay. In your space, everything is okay. If you can hold that stasis, then very little can touch you of any kind. It will be bounced back to the originator of whatever. If you want to bring in other communications from other people, then just let that connect with your valency bond, if you understand that term in physics. An atom connects to another with a valency bond. So you have that capacity to connect, interact. You could argue at a particle and also at an energetic level. I want you just for a few seconds to close your eyes, be very comfortable in yourself, and just enter that dark, quiet, comfortable, warm space. Now, I'm going to go around to each and one of you and show you a trick. It's not a card trick. I'd like you to place your hands in an uppermost position, separated. They can be resting on your knees with your fingers approximately pointing out and roughly together but not necessarily touching. All right? Approximately like that. Okay? And just extend the fingers like that if you can or not. Is that possible? Okay, okay. Right. And if anybody's left-handed, just let me know that you're left-handed. I will know, but it's quicker if you tell me. All this does is it turns on a switch. I'm not actually sending you any information. Thank you. Separate the hands a little bit. Okay, good. So some of you are quite tired. One or two of you have medical conditions you should address. I'm not going to do that in public. Now I want you to try something else. I've just turned on a switch in every single one of you, which gives you access. Keep your hands open like that. I want you to now bring your hands not touching, but from their current position to about 3 inches apart, and hold them there with the strength of the elbows rather than the hands, and just keep them roughly parallel, about 3 inches apart. And just wait. A little too close. 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, Doc. Some of you are slightly too wide. You're too wide, 3 inches. Right, okay, whoa. Now, I want you to just calm your breathing, and I want you to allow your energy, you're working individually now, to flow through from one hand to the other, whichever way it is. Just allow one hand's energy to flow to the other hand. And I will tell you that as this begins to build in you, you should start to feel some tingling sensations. If you don't feel them at this moment, just wait and allow your whole body to relax. It's not something you have to will, it's something you have to relax into. Like going, just let it happen. And now I want you to slightly separate your hands. So you pull the energy slightly outward until you feel that you've got to a point where the energy is kind of there, but if you go further, it's going to diminish. So you kind of find a membrane or a balance. Don't go too wide, but you're going to feel a kind of, almost as if you could feel a ball in your hand. You can visualize it if it helps, and work with your own energy. You sort of feel as if you were playing with a ball like a child. You slightly separate your fingers more like that. Okay, right, now. You are now working with your own energy. Right? Your own energy now, in this ball, I want you to see perfect, harmonious, loving, and complete. I want you now to bring that ball proximal to your solar plexus, about here. Still feeling, if you can, the ball. If you can't feel it, well, imagine it's there. Work with it in your imagination. This is your energy. It's not my energy, it's your energy. Now I want you to bring the ball up to your throat. I want you at this point to see this ball as completely perfect of what you wish to be at a very high level. May feel slightly cooler, and now I want you to insert that ball inside your skull. Bring your hands up. You can open your eyes now. Bring it up so you know where your hands are. Have your hands by your ears, but not touching. Put the energy of your perfection inside your own brain. You have now communicated your soul and your mind and your body and your brain. I now want you to leave that ball there, bring your hands away, and return them down here, and very quietly put them together, and close the fingers comme ça. Closing the fingers comme ça. And wait. I now want you to put your hands on your knees, palms down, and completely relax and be comfortable with exactly who you are. Good. How's Harvey doing? Harvey was there before us. Joke. Now I want you to make a decision in yourself, and don't tell anybody or me or anybody about this decision. I want you to decide, do you wish to have any kind of input or assistance in a neutral way in your life, in your ambitions, in your targets, in your equanimity, from some higher source that you personally may associate with? You may have this source as a concept, an image, a philosophy, somebody you know, somebody you don't know, but you have to have some kind of concept of a connection which means something to you. And if you don't want to do this, then I want you to stay exactly as you are, completely within your own space. But for a limited period of time today, and only when you wish to switch it on or switch it off in the future, I want you to understand that you can connect to what we will call your higher self. This would be you as you would wish to be, who can come back in time from the future to help you in the now, beneficially only so. Unjudgmental, purely positive thought and energy. I want you now to, if you wish, feel your feet on the ground, only lightly. Know that you are sat on this planet. And from the very top of your skull, in your highest energy form, imagine some kind of beam going up to this higher self of yours, of you, to that point there, wherever you think it is. It doesn't matter whether you think it's here or 1,000,000,000,000 miles away. It is all in the now. And I want you to see that beam extending slowly towards that individual who is you in the future, and connect. And anybody can do this. Intellectually, I talk to the camera, this has no dependence on belief, religion, class, creed. Anybody can do this. It is a function. If you start to feel some tingling sensations on the rim of your skull, you may have an indication you are getting a download from you. If you feel or hear any kind of tone in any one of your ears, not acoustically, but almost slightly at a higher frequency, it's because you are registering in your brain some kind of download. If you hear a whistling sound for a limited period of time, it is information. It is helping you. It's not dominating you. It is you talking to you. This is a harmonic process. Anybody can do this. I want you to breathe a little slower, a little more deeply, through your nose, through your mouth if you can't breathe through your nose. Now I want you to just completely relax and be comfortable with it. Okay. I want you to feel the emotion of your heart center. You can even put your right hand, or if you're left-handed, your left hand on your heart center. And I want you to feel comfortable with yourself and with everything that is in the cosmos, because in this moment, you are with your God, whoever or whatever that might be. Cosmic joke. They have an incredible sense of humor. Okay, now I want you to remember this technique that I've taught you today. You can repeat it. I want you to give it a little time if you wish. You can tell your friends about it. It's a very simple technique. And in your own time now, I want you to just relax and keep all this integrity. Fill your own space. Just be perfectly natural. Just relax your field. Come back into, I'm going to clap my hands. It'll give you a little cosmic shock and bring you back to here. Now! That's because in case you went off the planet. Because you can drift off. Okay, some people, like in hypnosis, they go and it's difficult getting back. Okay, hi everybody. Right, now, if I may, what did you feel?
Just really relaxed. Just very relaxed.
Relaxed?
Yeah, very calm.
Calm?
Yeah, calm and relaxed.
Calm.
Felt as if I was floating away.
You were going off, weren't you? You were going off.
Energy coming down through.
Energy coming down there, good transmission.
Very
Complete. Good word.
Sense of calmness.
Calm.
Stillness.
Stillness.
All right.
All right.
I actually felt a bit tense at first. When I started.
Pardon?
I actually felt a bit tense.
Yes.
But I started to
Yes. Yes. Talk. Both of you talk to me later. I can give you some advice. You, sir? Calm. Yes.
Peaceful and content.
Peaceful and content.
Physically, a tingling sensation.
Good man.
Aware of the energy being separate from me and elsewhere.
Brilliant.
Heavy with pulsating head and pulsating flashing lights. Colours.
Yeah, interesting. I'll remind me of that in a minute. Okay.
Feel the wind, cold wind between.
Wind.
Feeling calm and not so
Good.
tired.
Brilliant. Good. Good on you, Doc. Okay, let's do a little bit of intellectualizing all that. Okay. One or two of you have conditions that you need to address, and I will give you a bit of advice on that. That's why the reaction, you see, all of you had a slightly different reaction, although a lot of you said I felt calm. Some of you had a more precise reaction, which was your body throwing back something to you that you need to address. Because your body, like if I touch my finger, the neurological signals of my finger will be telling my brain someone's touching my finger. So your feedback in your neurological systems and your etheric systems is always there. And so if you're feeling things, or particularly in a moment of calmness or stillness, you are photographing and feeling your own condition. So if you feel any discomfort or anything which is a bit odd, then that's something in you that you need to address. And you can leave it alone or you can wish to address it, but it would be wise to address it because that can lead to physical malady if you don't address it at an appropriate time. Okay. 3 of you here have conditions that need to be addressed, apart from your mechanical, which that's just a mechanical, which will get better very quickly. Know that you can auto-suggest to yourself how well you are. As I said, you're principally only going to make yourself ill, if you do. And a lot of illness is, in effect, psychosomatic. It doesn't mean to say that it's not real. It just means that mentally it's being generated by yourself for various, say, emotional conditions. I'll give you an example. If somebody's living in a family and they're not getting enough sympathy from their relatives, they might decide, not consciously but unconsciously, to be ill, because when you are ill, you might get more emotional support from your family. So various people might decide, oh, well, it's very comfortable to be ill, and they'll create all kinds of crazy conditions which they have to suffer because they're comfortable in their suffering. Bear that in mind. When you see other people and you see people in tragedy or in illness, bearing in mind that if you can encourage them to cure themselves, rather than dashing off and getting a magic pill, not that I'm saying that they shouldn't seek that, but I'm saying they have the capacity in themselves to cure themselves. As I said yesterday, every one of you, other than some brain cells, is no more than 6 months old, because your body regenerates material continuously. If you didn't do that, you'd die after 6 months, because a lot of cell material doesn't have a life that is durable much more than that anyway. Skin is quite short. Right. Now, I'm just going to take a few quick questions on what we've just done, as to if some of you didn't want to expand on it. I can't spend too much time. Doc, do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, because I've got a family member that gets very stressed, and I feel as though I want to help her. And with what's just happened, I feel as though there's something I can do to help her, is what's just happened to me.
This technique is amazingly simple. There's no contraindications to it. You cannot do anybody any harm with this technique. It's very much designed to be a very positive, totally non-contradictory technique. And I'm not opening you up to outside influence, because I've already said to you, you must own your individual space. All the solutions to your life are with you. They're not out there. They're not up there. They're with you. You are in control of you. That is the lesson. That is the lesson. Right, did you have a question? Oh, yeah. No?
No.
No?
Not sure if this is the right place to bring it up. Maybe afterwards.
As you wish.
Yeah.
Pass it along. This is the mic.
Wonder if you have trouble relaxing.
Pardon?
Wonder if you have trouble relaxing, because I'm not a very relaxed person, you know. So situations like that, switching off, I'm not very...
Okay. It will happen. Talk to me afterwards. It's a very good question. It's to do with your past, and it's not necessarily in this time frame. There are things in your past that you have to resolve that are not your fault, but they are there. Talk to me later.
I did wonder, when you get to that... I did wonder, when you get to that bit about stuffing the ball of energy in your head, sort of, is it affected by wearing a hat? I mean, should you be hatless when you're trying to...
You should not be wearing a hat that has metal in it. You should not be wearing a crash helmet, a tin helmet, Baco foil, or even a safari hat with a metal rim. Such mechanisms are very useful for keeping out microwaves. My bush hat, which is not with me, has a metal rim, and that helps to keep out microwaves from transmitter cell stations, which are for these damn things. Other than that, I think inorganic material like straw would have no difference, because your hair, your skin, your clothes are electromagnetically transparent.
Thanks. In relation to this, is drama, do people kind of create drama almost as an addiction, as a replacement to this kind of connection?
It's a very good question, because a lot of people have what is called the self-saboteur. This is known in psychology, is that part of their being somehow has turned against them. It's very difficult to analyze why. A lot of human beings have this. The self-saboteur is your own, not your personal, but your own worst enemy. And sometimes you'll see people both psychologically and intellectually and physically working against themselves. Very difficult to understand. And it's usually to do with their past, can be in this life, can be in a previous life, and they're trying to solve something which has not yet been resolved inappropriately. It's almost a kind of psychic self-harming process, and it can lead to physical malady. Yeah, right, next question, if there is one. No. No, pass it around if you would be so kind.
Our ability to change the world.
Yes, you asked very poignant questions. Your ability to change the world, very good question. Right. Well, citing an old adage, you must first of all stabilize yourself. Now, I'm not saying you are not, but I'm talking in general to the camera. You are part of the world. You are one brain cell in the brain of God. Think of it that way. You personally have over 3 trillion brain cells. If you can think of yourself as one brain cell in the brain of the cosmos, I'm not being Christian or Judean on this, I'm just saying in the brain of the cosmos, you are receiving and transmitting information, energy, futures, event horizons. You are processing that. That is your mission. So if you can stabilize that within yourself and get that positive to start with, that's good. Then I'll move on actually into that it's a very good introduction to where I'm going next with this. We'll come back to you in a moment. Sir.
Mine was much the same.
Okay. You have a question, go on. I know you've got a question.
Well, my question was, when you actually do get these downloads, information, not saying what do you do with them as such, but I mean, so many people, aren't interested in it anyway. And I suppose the other question probably could be, in my own experiences, I've experienced lots of things out of time.
Okay, we'll come to that in a bit later.
Yeah.
But don't hold that thought.
Okay.
What you do with it This is the point. A lot of things that happen in the universe, you don't need to do anything. I'm not asking you to be apathetic, quite the contrary, but I'm saying your heart is beating, you're breathing, your brain is operating, your liver's operating. You don't actually have to do anything. That happens. With energy of this kind and event horizons and creating the new reality in yourself, once you've actually entered the process, it will do it itself. My wife drives an automatic car. It's a brand new one. It's totally automated. It even puts the brakes on and off. It turns its windscreen wipers on and off. It turns its lights on and off. The universe is like that. The universe is highly automated, as indeed are you. All you have to do is have to have the correct intent. If you intend to be in a loving, caring, harmonious situation, you don't need to do anything to have that happen, because you are using attraction. Most human civilization processes use extended masculine energy. They use things that is going out. They use repellent force. They use something that is transmitted, a doing of it. A lot of the universe works on attraction, gravimetric. When a North Pole attracts a South Pole, it doesn't have to do anything, it happens. Nick?
It's okay.
Okay. Right. Okay, good. Excellent. I think if you could just keep that in the vicinity of Miles for whatever he wants to do with it. Jolly good. Okay, right, now, I'm hoping that you will take that away later on. I hope you found that useful. Now let's move on. Miles, how much time have we got left?
You've got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay, now, lady here, dear friend, says, how do we affect the world? Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay.
19.
Harvey, 19. Oh, he's gone. He's bored with the whole thing. Kid stuff. What I want you to do now is just in threes, and I will be able to do this as well, like this three here, just move your chairs slightly around so that the three of you can form a kind of a triangle. You go back a bit. Similarly here, three, form kind of a triangle. You three are going to work together. You three are going to work together. Ditto, ditto. Ditto. Just move back a bit there, gentleman in the check shirt. Move, no, you come forward a minute. Okay, okay. And you three. All right, no, you're on this crew here. You're on this crew here, and I'm with you two guys here. Okay, right. We're working in threes, right? All right. Tell me when you're comfortable. Now, this is the next trick. We've got sound okay? Yeah, okay. Right, this is the next trick. I'm not necessarily Judeo-Christian, but there was a prophet called Jesus. And he did say, whenever three of you are gathered together, my church is there. What this means is that for your optimum extension of your intent to do good, you will be greatly amplified as a group of three. For all of the physics that we went through on the screen, of the three transmitters on the UFO helping each other and rotating. 3 is the key, not 2, not 1, 3. It can be a multiple of 3, but usually go from 3 to 12, or then 12 to 24. Okay, 3 is good, 3 is simple. Now, if you are comfortable with your group setting, fine. If anybody feels uncomfortable with the group setting that you've chosen, because you chose to sit where you did, I know I moved a few of you, be happy now with who you're with, okay? Anybody want to move at all? No? You're fine. Good. Okay. Now, I want you, first of all, to mentally, harmonically associate with your group. I want you to just look at each other, not in any critical way. I just want you to feel each other. to actually just look at each other, just feel. It's more of a psychic process rather than a visual thing. I just want you to feel part of your individual threesome. All right? And I want you to put your hands roughly on your knees, make sure your legs aren't crossed, and just, without touching hands, just let your energy move between hands. We did this exercise just now, didn't we, between two hands? I want your hand to be kind of within range of your partner's hand on your left and your right. You don't have to be too close, but within kind of range. So you feel some energy could translate between your hand and the next person's hand. And I want you to be comfortable with the fact that that energy can flow. Harvey's going to have to be your surrogate for the moment. Okay, good. Now, I want you to imagine that this energy of your individual group is rotating between your hands in an anti-clockwise direction, so that all of your energy is starting to mix and is translating between the three of you in a circular vortex through the hands. Let it build. You might feel some tingling sensations. And now I want you to visualize in the center of that vortex a column starting to grow vertically from the ground upwards, which is using that circular energy. Harvey's your chum there. Just imagine him there. And I want you in your mind to put a color on that column. Doesn't have to be the same as your colleagues. And I want you to just, in your mind, see that column as starting to take on a color that you choose. And the column is spinning in the direction of the energy flow and is extending high in the sky. To the zone in which your super self resides, who you formerly associated with. And are now in your own individual consciousness, I want you to construct a simple thought of positive intent to what you would like happen. Make it precise, nothing vague, something precise that is outside of your own environment, outside of your own needs, that you would abstractly like to have happen within the next 6 months. You may wish to visualize this up there as a thought form. See it as a solid thing. See it as something that is real, that can happen, that you are going to influence. I now want you to see in your mind's eye, like a maypole, the columns of all these individual tri-groups spinning and merging as one unified vortex around this group here and combining up there in a vortex up there, which combines all of these good thoughts, all of these good ambitions and expectations for what you would like to have happen. Wait, give it time. If you become aware of any colors or sounds or music or anything else positive which is associated with this combined energy, then just listen and feel and accept that this is the combined positive output of this group today. And see this energy that you have now created in the sky, if you wish, as being resident there for 6 months, at which time you, with your group or a new group, can modify it, can change it, can adjust it, can fine-tune it, knowing that the universe does need time to deliver and it can and will happen. I now want you to see the columns of energy slowly slowing down and returning slowly down that column from this ether space back into between your knees, between your group, down into a ball of energy that is between the three of you in each individual group. And I want you to see that single ball in each individual group very quietly separate into 3 balls, your individual energy balls that come back in towards your heart center, your chest, and slowly drawing your energy back into yourself, away from your colleagues, so that everything becomes yours again. And if you wish, you can now touch your hands together or close your hands. I'll just do this for you. And just bring your hands together. Feel very much back in yourself. And here and now, I can bring you very much into the here and now with a little bit of dynamic energy. No, we're not there yet. Some of you are still out of your bodies. Okay, 3, 2, 1. That's better. Okay, you're back in, and I want you to rearrange your chairs roughly as you were before, please. Okay?
Yes.
A few questions. Would you like to ask a question? You don't have to.
No, relating to what we've just done, or in the talk in
More or less relating to what we've just done.
I'll pass for the moment then, thanks.
Okay. We'll come back to what we want to say in a minute. Okay, keeping going round.
In the now, I'm always happy.
Good. You all right? Okay. Okay.
Is there an ideal way that you should prepare for yourself, apart from the things that you just told us to do there, generally about yourself, about what you eat, what you drink?
Well, I'll expand it sideways. For these processes to work, you're best in a clean space, a space that you will not be disturbed by other people coming in and coming into the space. Children, animals, the telephone ringing, telephone should be switched off. You should be in a clean space, and a psychically clean space. It isn't near a microwave station, doesn't have any negative energy because it could impact on the process and disturb you. In terms of everything else, you know all the things about natural living, so.
It's a feeling of peace. And it's a feeling of peace. Feel at peace. I felt cold before and I feel warm now.
Good.
And not so tired.
Good.
And I feel as though something like this is what you could actually do at home.
Oh, yeah.
In your own time. Plus, as I said earlier, is to help a family member.
Yes, yes. These are very, very standard techniques. They're you will find them in other philosophies in different forms. It's very old stuff. It's very easy stuff. There's no contraindications to it. Thank you, Dot. That's really appreciated. I love Dot. She's my girlfriend. I hate Dot. Okay. Right. Thank you for participating in that. How much time have we got left? 10. Good. Right. Now, what we've done today is we've covered a number of things, hopefully positively. And we've taught you how you can actually change things for you and for the world yourself. If you can teach these techniques to other people, please do so. It's the snowball coming off the mountain and accumulating snow, and I don't mean negative about this, but producing an avalanche. This is grassroots stuff. It doesn't have to be anything intellectual. If you start disseminating this goodwill, you teach as many other people, you talk about it to other people, you basically just even sending it out energetically, if you don't want to do this physically, then you will start to have a positive effect on your world, your ecology, the people around you, yourself. And this is one thing you can do. Of course, you can do many other things. You can, get engaged in everything you regard as positive that you want to associate with. That is for your own initiative. But there's only one thing that I can try to encourage you to do today, and that is fulfill your intent to bring some peace and tranquility and harmony to this troubled planet. It's in your hands. And hopefully today we might have transmitted to other people, and other people will be doing the same thing in different places, in different cultural contexts, and they will have different names for it. And if we can actually bring forward this love, we can cure. This world. Getting back to the Pythoness. What's the meaning of life? It's whatever meaning you put on it. Whatever you think it is, it will be. The universe is a lot bigger than anybody can imagine, even me. You look through a telescope at any part of the sky, you will see a myriad of galaxies. A galaxy can be 1 billion stars. And in any one field of your binoculars or telescope, you will see hundreds of galaxies. Infinity. You are part of that. and everything, which kind of is the universe. The universe works on energy. Somebody says, but why? Why not? I love you.
I love you too.
I think we all love you.
I love you.
I think it's a case of thank you for giving us understanding. And I think at least one of us, all of us, can feel something like that. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, my darling. The understanding is yours. It is already in you. I'm preaching to the converted here, I know, and I've been preaching to the converted all weekend. But we need, as a civilization, to have people understand how they own their own being, how they should never be afraid, not of anything at all. Never be afraid. And trust that in the higher levels, whatever way you associate with it or understand it or want it to be, somebody or something out there remembers you. You have never been forgotten.
Peter, can I just ask something?
Pardon?
I recently lost my mother, and in the last few weeks I felt more near her than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a normal, natural thing?
Did you say the loss of your mother?
Yes.
When did she die?
Couple of months ago.
She died a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It's a very transient time. A lot of people are shuffling off and catching the bus. And, yeah, when people biologically die, they don't die. They merely translate. Even physics will tell you energy cannot be lost. It can only move from one zone to another. I made at least 3 programs for the BBC on reincarnation. In my opinion, we proved that reincarnation existed. People had very precise memories under regression of who they had been, things they could not possibly have researched or known. In the ethers, there are far more people than there are physically. One of the problems of this planet, it has a very high density in the aether regions that needs to be consolidated, changed. Somebody asked me a question about the etheric wave. The etheric wave from the core will cause a lot of things to happen and things to be resolved as much in the ether reasons, and you will see this manifest in politics and economy and everything else. I would say the camera, the Americans and the Chinese have got to stop. Otherwise they will be stopped.
But Peter, the British have got to stop turning a blind eye to what we are doing, the terrible loss of life that we are causing and supporting in the Middle East. It's not just the Americans and the Chinese. As this good man said this morning, how heroic is it to be causing massacres in Iraq, Afghanistan, that is illegal under international law, and to come back and be applauded as heroes when these heroes' employers should also be looking after them, not relying on the charity of good heart.
Yeah, I'll take that. I've got 1 minute, okay, but thank you for that. I would say to you, It's very difficult when people are in the services. Peter Pace said any officer who receives an order that he is not ethically comfortable with, he has no obligation to implement that order. I would say from friends that I've known, it's very difficult to disobey orders. I agree with you entirely, don't get me wrong. I majority of people, not just the military, as being told, ordered, encouraged, cajoled to do things which are completely unethical. I agree with you entirely. Unless populations, as a body, quietly and unaggressively say, no, I'm not going to do that. Walk away, don't do it. Everyone has the power to say no. Passive resistance. Gandhi proved that this works. It's the only way that it works. No revolutions, no rioting, nothing on the streets. Just don't comply with what you're not happy with. Your conscience will decide. Thank you for the question. I don't blame anybody. I would like to talk personally to more people in the echelons of government and what have you, which I have done before, and have them listen and understand. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. I love you all. Good night. Group hug. Group hug. All come in. Group hug, guys. There. Oh boy. Was it okay? Right, I'm going to do some kind of bit of lunch.